Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Jeff, and welcome to the Daily Scan for Wednesday, August 28th, 2013. Well, the markets are a little bit in turmoil right now because of what's happening in the Middle East, and I feel for the people there. I definitely do. It's a shame. And we'll see how that affects the markets shortly and over the next couple of days and weeks. Okay, for today, scheduled announcements: pending home sales and EIA petroleum status report. We got mixed information yesterday with house prices not going up as quickly as they want, but consumer confidence ticked up a few tenths of a percent over the previous measurement, which I think is a monthly measurement. Let's jump over quickly and take a look at what's going on in the world markets. The Asian markets were very solidly down, except for India. But all the rest were greater than 0.5%, except for Shanghai, of course, but overall pretty solidly down. Over in Europe, we have things that are just possibly mixed. They're not really sure if they want to move down in any sort of great measure, but I think they're still figuring out, and it is lunchtime there, roughly speaking. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? No, I think we can jump right over to Thinkorswim and take a look at our futures. Right now we're at slightly up, although overall I would call this flat, because anything less than 0.5% here is pretty dang flat in my book. But we have a slightly different picture here in gold, where we're continued moving up from that 1400 level, and crude oil approaching, shooting up here because of the Middle East. So there might be, expect higher gas prices for sure. But keep an eye on this. If you're playing the futures and you're long oil, that would be a good thing. And if you're long gold, that would be a good thing. And if you're short the S&P 500, that also would probably be a good thing. So let's take a look at that, because I got my email this morning, from Tom Sosnoff, the cherry bomb that he issues every morning, and this is what he is looking at here. Let me scrunch this up a little bit, and let's go over to a regular. Let's go to a big chart. Oops. Let's go to this chart here, and let's pick a style out where we don't have a study. Okay, so this is what Sosnoff is looking at for his new levels now that we pierced, what was it, 1666 or whatever it was that 1633, I forget. I could check here because the alert went off. 1633. Was the level that he was looking to hit yesterday, and today he's looking at these levels here, which are, what are they? Well, here's how you can look at it. Just right click here and say edit properties, and you can set your levels here precisely and your dates precisely. And I don't know what time frame he's talking about when he sends those emails out. So I'm just put a box in there like that, change the color to something slightly more pleasing. I can make it even a little bit darker gray. I can live with that. So that's the new levels. These are my alerts here for my levels, the 1580 and the 1460 levels. This is a panic level here. And this one here is just the next major level of support resistance that I identified back here. This resistance here and this support here, roughly, very roughly. It's actually more of an area, sort of like what Tommy picked. Okay, we're go back to auto scale here. Okay, so that looks like a little better picture there. So that's a target that he's looking at. Over on our side for yesterday, I got the alert on Goldman Sachs and entered a bear call on that one. And well, you can see here that it's working out pretty well already. I was not able to secure one that I was comfortable with for this Friday. When I took a look at this, actually this the strike it was only like $1 or $2 off of the current price was giving me a delta of 20 for this Friday's expiration. So I moved into the next Fridays, and we were at like a delta of about 22 at that time. So that's what I did yesterday. And then I wanted to show you here a feature that we used to have. Remember when I used to be able to break these out by the type of spread that they were? And that disappeared, and I spent a considerable amount of time yesterday trying to find their release notes and trying to figure out why it wasn't there. And it come to find out that it's a bug, and they're working very hard to fix it. Now this morning there was a new version that I downloaded, and I believe it is still not fixed, but here's where you find it now. You have to go over to this, I don't know what this means here, what you would call that icon, but you left click it and then go to group symbols by, and I chose spreads, and here I have vertical, calendar, butterfly, and covered all checked. I say OK, and it should break these out by that. And you can see that when you do that, I would think it would just be a simple fix here, that it still stays on account, or wherever you have it checked, it doesn't go over to this. I would think that would be a simple fix. It's not that showing it by spreads doesn't work, or that it's screwed up. It's just saying it won't let you show it by spreads, in my mind anyway, being a former software analyst. So that's that feature, and it doesn't work, and they said they're scrambling to fix it. Alright, and then I wanted to look at, everything's looking pretty good here. Mostly, with gold we're bullish, and everything else we're bearish here. So the 10 a.m. is looking good. Gold is looking good. We have a bull put on that, bear call, and a covered call. So we're looking pretty good on all those fronts right now. And then I wanted to take a peek at this double calendar on Google here and show you what's going on. Google did not have a good day yesterday, as you can see here. But the idea behind this is just to wait it out. So we're going to wait it out, see what happens Friday. Maybe we get a little move up here and a little pump up on the current price white line here. We'll just have to wait and see. Excuse me. And then I did another one on Netflix, another simulated trade on Netflix. And yesterday's big move kind of screwed us a little bit on this one. We were expecting Netflix to continue its march upward, and it still may do that. So we're sitting with this calendar at 295. We would like this to finish at 295 this Friday, and have to make a really big move to get up there. Isn't that right? Okay, so that's where we are with those two. Now we'll just jump right over to the A+ list and run through it quickly, knowing that the big bearish move yesterday is going to probably mess things up a little bit here, but this is a kind of a big thing with Apple here, and I'm very interested in doing something here with Apple. No, it wasn't Apple. It was something else that I was looking at. I think it was Google. When we get to Google, I think I might want to do a bear call on that one. But here is Apple. It was moving up smartly. Let me zoom out here, go back to here where I was. But it seems to have maybe giving us, we're looking for a hook. We'll see if it appears. I can put a target in here. And we'll see if we get a reversal or a move up today and see what happens. It's entirely possible that any sort of bullish move this morning, bullish recovery from yesterday's move may just fail. So that would mean that Apple would also fail, which makes today kind of a risky day to do anything. Then we have Amazon. It was in, boy, these are some big moves here. And it's really hard to determine anything when you have a move like that. Really hard. We have an upward trend, and we have actually broken through the 50 here, and that's pretty significant. So we were testing it all along here, and now we have moved down. You know what? This is giving some really bearish indications here. Really, really bearish for Amazon. And, well, not for Apple, because it's still above its 50, right? You get a move down below the 50, and then you're testing it, and then test fails. That's a good sign that's a good sign. So I'm going to put an alert in on here. It's a counter trend trade. And we'll see how it works out for us. Alright, Baidu. We have a lot of consolidation going on here. And I'm not seeing anything there. It's way too far up above the 50 MA. And we're getting definitely some bearish signals here. I'd like to see this turn magenta. I need a magenta print here. May get it this week yet. Let's see what happens. Celgene. Yeah, we're still in an uptrend. I was just going to keep an eye on this, see if this target is valid or not. It may not be valid for very long. Looking over here in the weekly, though, it's looking pretty good. But I'm just going to have to wait for that one to mature a little bit. CF, still can't really determine what's going on here with them. So we're going to just stay away for right now. I want to look here to see just regular weeklies, not multiple weeklies. Alright, Chipotle. They're in an uptrend on the 50. We have a hook down here. We're getting a lot of bearish confirmation here. Getting a lot of bearish confirmation kind of around all of them. Google. This is definitely a bearish looking move here. We're looking pretty bearish on Google, so I am actually thinking of doing a real live trade on this with a bear call. So I'm going to throw an alert on that. wait and see how that happens. Okay, so here's why we're below the 50 and it's actually beginning to bend down. We hooked above the 55 here. We just got a hook down and on the daily MACD and on the moving average, and we're below 20 over here on the stochastic on the weekly. We're moving down here, so there's a lot of reasons why I would be looking for a bear call, and probably next week on this, and we can get something around, probably depending on what happens at the open here, probably something around 870 or 865, which would be, I like seeing things up here around the previous high in this trend downward. So it would be around there. So if we do something at 870, if we can, at after we get into the market today, that's what we'll be looking for. That's my having a mechanically, not digitally, but mechanically, I'm having a problem with my microphone. It doesn't want to remain in the position that I put it in. Alright, Goldman, we're already in on that. LinkedIn, can't really determine anything here, so I don't see any directional entry. I don't see much direction, period. MasterCard, wow, that's a biggie. I wanted to mention also that the alert triggered on Visa, and we'll take a look at it when we get down there to Visa. But look at MasterCard here. So if we go below this 50 or the 50 bends down, then we'll be looking for a move up above the 55 here. But everything's looking very, very bearish for MasterCard as well. Netflix, we were looking for that 295 level. We already took a peek at that. I don't see any directional entry here at this time. Priceline. Priceline is wobbling around, not doing much. Looks like, I'd like to have it come down here, either test and bounce off and move back up, or I don't know, do something else. I mean, do something here, Priceline. Give me a trade. Tesla, see if its meteoric rise has been halted. No, not at all. It just totally ignored yesterday. So maybe Stochastic's going to come down here and give us an entry. Might even be worth it just to put an alert on here, which I think is what I'm going to do. And I'll go above the close of these candles here on Monday. This is just for fun, probably. I mean, if it continues to move up and we have a down day today, so from an entry perspective, it's really not happening here. I mean, even on the weekly chart. But if you take a look at the intraday, there could have been an entry here at the close or at the open yesterday, looking at it from that perspective. And if we zoom out a little bit, it's a little bit clearer. Very, very short term on Tesla. Just giving us the entry, very, very short term. And last but not least, like I mentioned, the alert went off on Visa. I wasn't real excited about what I saw when I came to take a look at it, at least as far as being able to pick my strikes. And my notes on this say, missed the ideal strike. So when I'm looking for that delta around 20, and I'm looking at a very short duration trade, sometimes I don't get, it doesn't work out strike wise. I don't have a strike that's around 20 that I feel comfortable with. and a lot of times it's just too close to the current price. Alright, so Visa, we don't have an alert on MasterCard, so therefore I am not going to put an alert on Visa. So that is pretty much it for today. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and happy trading.